So I kind of skipped last week on accident. Like, time completely got away from me, and I apologize because I really want to actually keep up with this. I am sure there's people who are getting help from this, and I'm not going to back away from it. Um, it's been kind of a rough couple of weeks for me, at least. Because, and this is what I'm touching on today, is that don't be afraid to take your medicine. So I've experimented a little on change, like adjusting dosages or taking it at different times, and then unfortunately I actually ran out of the medicine. And apparently my insurance wanted prior authorization from my psychologist to be able to refill it, and nobody told me. So here I am waiting for it to be refilled, and nothing happens. I've learned for sure over the last 2 weeks I definitely use that medicine and I need it back in my system on a regular basis because it helps in a way that I've noticed. Like Saturday, I actually had since since my cat passed away. I actually had a down day. I was just like, I'm not worthy. I don't. Why would somebody want to spend time with me? My RNG sucks in games, so why should I play games? I mean, what am I doing with anything? And it wasn't suicidal. It wasn't I'm better off dead. It was just, the shit sucks right now. And that in and of itself was good. But I also think I had that because I didn't have my full support of all the medication I've been on the last couple of months. Now it's possible the dosage may change and I may be in luck that way. I won't know until I actually go to my doctor and we discuss what needs to be changed. He wanted to give me time to see how I did. I had some different dosages that he wanted me to like swap in and out, see how I did for a week or two, if it got better or if it got worse. I was able to remove a couple from being regular parts, but with the absence of the one, that changed real quick. I had to go back on everything that I had reduced from, which is progress. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with finding what works for you, be it medication, be it meditation, be it a walk in the park. Whatever works for you is yours. Now, the caveat of that is to say, this is what works for me when somebody is having a situation similar to yours. You don't want them to feel like there's something wrong with them because you're going, oh, well, I don't need medication. I mean, that's really defeating to somebody who's like, well, I'm sorry, but walk in the woods just does not help me. I'm terrified to leave my house. How's that going to fix me? And it's something not a lot of people realize when they make those statements. They're trying to be helpful, and they are doing it under the assumption that what works for them should work for everybody. That is not the case. We are different in body, we are different in mind, we are different in spirit when it comes to the functions and how we work. And what works for some doesn't work for others, and vice versa, and that's okay. That's totally okay. I mean, I like to shave the side of my head. Not everybody likes that. That's okay. That's options. Those are choices you make. And if you feel medication works for you, take it. If you feel doing something else, some change to your lifestyle, be it food or exercise, and that makes an improvement for you, that's great. But don't force it on other people when they're struggling. I know you want to be helpful. I know you want to be there for your friends. But as somebody who's been there, please, the worst thing you can do is say, oh, you can do this, and make them feel like they're failing because they can't. And that's really tough to deal with, because you start to feel like something's wrong with you, that you're like malfunctioning, and it's a really, really scary place to be. And to a point, that's actually where suicidal thoughts start to come in, because you start to go, well, if I'm not functioning right, why should I be alive? I mean, obviously something's wrong with me enough that I I'm not able to be a capable human, and that's not really fair. And I know a lot of those things come from a source of love, and it comes from wanting to help and see them do better. The best thing you can do is look at them and go, what can I do to help you? How are you feeling, and what can I do to make you better if you're not feeling well? Language is a huge, huge thing when you are stuck in your head arguing with 30,000 versions of yourself that are trying to pull you to the ends of the earth and back again. And if we hear the phrase, how are you doing? It's a chance to lie. It's a chance to, skip past explaining things. But if you come to us and go, how may I help you? I can see that, you're struggling, you're depressed, you're maybe in a tight spot emotionally. Do you want to go somewhere and talk? How can I be a better friend for you in this moment? And that can do 1,000 things. It's almost as good as medication when somebody is in a spot where they're confused and they're struggling. And I say that because I had a friend basically do that for me. I had somebody who saw I was struggling, who saw that I was in a very, very bad place, and she happened to actually be a physician and went, you know what, I can help you. If you need some medication, if we can get you to a better place, I would like to be able to help you. And because she was a good friend and she was somebody I saw at least once to twice a week, I took the risk. Because she saw me outside of the office. She saw who I was and had seen the changes in my behavior and my mood over the course of 1.5 to 2 years. And what was great is she also got to see me improve as she helped me. And unfortunately, she had to move away for a while, and she's actually back, and I'm excited to actually make her my primary care physician again, because I can talk to her more frankly about medication issues and things I'm seeing and things I'm wondering about, and have a chance to explain them in a way she understands, because she knows how I communicate better, which can be its own barrier. And I think that, goes back to the whole, you're trying to do something out of love and saying, well, this is what works for me, it should work for you, and it doesn't work. And everybody has to walk their own path, and everybody has to find what works for them. And there's no shame in what works for you. However, you need to be able to get better, as long as it's not self-harm and it's not harming others. It is the best thing for you to do. I say that from my experience, because I'm pretty sure if I wasn't at least trying to do the things that worked for me, be them coping mechanisms or medication changes, I honestly don't know if I would be here today. And I really do truly mean that. My friend who, I basically credit her with saving my life, because if I had not gone into her office and seen her when I did, I'm pretty sure that summer I would have actually decided that it wasn't worth it any longer and end up my life. And that's something I keep talking about. I keep bringing it up because I want people to understand, you can look at somebody and think they're okay and realize and not know how badly they're breaking up, or how badly down in the pit of their own mind that they're stuck. And when they hear you make phrases that make them feel like they're inadequate, that there's something wrong with them, it drives that hole just a little bit deeper. And nobody wants to be there. We don't want our loved ones there. We don't want to have to deal with that anguish at all. And a lot of that comes from self-shame of, well, I feel shameful for taking my meds because why should I need medication to help me? Or I feel bad about going to therapy. Why do I need to talk to somebody? And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. If you go to your doctor when you're sick with a cold to get medication so that your body can fight off an infection, it is no different than going to a doctor to get medication to help you with your mental status. It is a mental illness. Sometimes it goes away, sometimes it's temporary, and it's situational. Not always though, and people need to understand that, and you need to understand that, and be okay with that. If you find after a year and a half you don't feel like you need your medication because your life is improved and the situations are better, do what you need to do. But don't feel like you can't go back or you can't do what you need to do for your own mental health and your sanity. Because that's really what's at stake there. When you start to listen to the, well, walk in the woods doesn't help me, or fresh air doesn't help me, or exercise doesn't help me, it starts to trigger those thoughts that something's wrong with you. And you start to feel shameful about having this need for medication or therapy. And you shouldn't have those. If they're saving your life, if they are what keeps you here, they are the most valuable things that you can do. And nobody should fault you for those. And if they do, you need to really reevaluate your relationship with them or try to educate them on how those things help you. That's all I've got for today. You're probably going to be seeing more videos. I'm starting sculptures and stuff this week. I said I was going to get into small things last week, or the week before, and I actually took the plunge. I got everything ordered. I've got a package actually waiting for me at the mailbox. If you found this video helpful, hit like. If you really want to hear what I have to say in my ramblings of Rough Cut Mondays, or any of the other things I post, please hit subscribe. All that stuff helps me grow my channel, and I would love to hear from you guys. I want to hear what helps you, and how are you making your life better. Well, see you next week.